He's navigated P1 outages and built teams that move with discipline and heart. Mr. N. Ashwin Nag.
Cloud governance is really about leadership discipline. The cloud to balance innovation with responsibility is very important.
Every moment in your career, especially in the initial phase, teaches you so much because it's so new to you.
So we paused, we cleaned the data, established governance, and brought engineers into discussions. When the system improved, the trust returned.
Good day, everyone, and welcome back to FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm Taneol, and today we're stepping into the control room of enterprise IT, where uptime is currency, incidents don't get a second chance, and teams win through process clarity and being calm under pressure. Our guest brings nearly 15 plus years in IT infrastructure and operations, from hands-on systems engineering to senior consultant at Capgemini, with a career spanning storage administration, incident and problem management, backup and recovery, vendor management, and Scrum-led delivery. He's navigated P1 outages, led cross-functional war rooms, transitioned global accounts to India, and built teams that move with discipline and heart. He's also a certified Scrum Master, ITIL V3 professional, MCSE, and VMware Cloud Associate. Someone who knows how to blend process, people, and platforms. Mr. N. Ashwin Nag, it is an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. How are you?
First of all, thank you, Tanai, for being me here in this FaceTime. And thank you so much for the warm welcome. It's truly pleasure to be here. I'm doing very well, and I feel grateful for this opportunity. When I look back at my journey, I have always believed that technology becomes meaningful only when it touches people's lives with reliability and honesty.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to share a bit of that journey with you today. And
Yes.
thank you for having me here once again.
Yes, so perfect. So that gets me to my first question that, a journey is entailed with a number of defining moments in a person's life. So we would love to know, what started your journey in this path and some of the defining moments that led to, where you are today.
Okay, Tanay, I would like start with my early career, which is like when I look back, my career really began with a simple spark, a curiosity to understand how systems work behind the scenes. I didn't start with big dreams. I started with the belief that if I learned the fundamentals well, I could solve real problems for real people. Athane, I would like to share one moment at my early
Please.
career, which
Yes.
is like one early moment that shaped me came during my first few years as a
Okay.
system engineer.
Okay.
We had a critical outage, one of those nights where everything that could go wrong and it went wrong. I still remember the tension in the room, the responsibility on my shoulder, and the feeling of not having a second chance. That incident didn't just teach me technical skills, it taught me accountability. It taught me the calmness, which is superpower in IT industry.
Yeah.
And going forward, like a little later in my career, when I moved into incident and problem management, I experienced one of the toughest lows. I was leading a major P1 issue that went for hours and hours. And for a moment, it felt like the whole world was watching. That night tested my confidence, but it forced me to grow, to communicate better,
Yeah.
and also to stay composed and to trust the team even when it is in chaos situation. Looking back, that difficult incident became a turning point. It shaped the leaders in it, it shaped the leader in me.
Yeah.
A decision To be like a decision I still proud of came a few years when I took on the responsibility of transitioning an entire account from United States of America to our Bharat, which is India. It wasn't an easy yes. It meant building teams for scratch, balancing cultural expectation. And the earning trust from day one, it was like it went for it. It went for it for me.
Yeah.
That decision taught me something important. Leadership is not a title. I say leadership is not a title. It's showing up when the movements ask for you.
Yeah. Very true, sir.
Yeah. So if you see, like, if I think about my journey today, it's not just a CV. It's not just a CV. It's a series of small wins, a few painful lows, and strong mentorship, late night war rooms, and a lot of silent lessons that shaped me across my entire journey of this IT professional career. And I carry each of those moments with gratitude because they taught me resilience and discipline.
Very true. Every moment in your career, especially in the initial phase, teaches you so much because it's so new to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my journey started.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is my journey till today.
Yeah, that's lovely. Sir, you've lived the shift from on-prem servers and manual reconciliations to cloud foundations, analytics, and agile ways of working. What's one big change in enterprise slash retail technology that truly transformed how operations run? And how did you adapt your leadership to match that pace?
Okay, Tanay. I would start with, like, when I started the operations were very slow, and it was completely manual, and then heavily dependent on on-prem systems. And if a report was delayed, everything downstream, it they were all suffering with the delay deliveries. If storage ran out, you felt it immediately. One of my earliest memories is manually reconciling logs during a big business weekend. It showed me how fragile operations used to be. The real transformation came with cloud foundation and agile ways of working. Suddenly, uh, things took days, and also things were like taking hours together to to get the work done. Then automation reduced human errors. Automation came um into the place, and then it reduced the human errors. Teams became faster, more collaborative, and more transparent. But leadership had to evolve even faster. Earlier, leaders were expected to know the answers, but now leaders are expected to ask the right questions. I had to unlearn the idea of control and embrace agility. You know, like, I encourage my teams to experiment, fail fast, and share openly. There were moments of resistance, especially when people feared automation. And Abhay, I would like to say, like, the turning point which came into my life came when a small automation we built prevented a potential outage. Before it happened, it shifted the mindset from fear to possibility.
Yeah.
And for me, Tanay, I would say the biggest lesson what I learned here is technology may transform systems, but leadership transforms people. And only people can truly change this system. This is what is the biggest takeaway from this.
Yeah, because culture is created by people.
Correct.
So everyone says AI will fix alerts. In practice, noise, data quality, and trust get in the way. Where did AI ops actually work for you and where did it backfire? Like what changed after that first bruising pilot?
Yeah, Tanay. AI is now the hot topic in everybody's mouth. So we first explored AI ops because of one thing every IT team knows too well, like alerts fatigue. Our monitoring systems was throwing noise at us day and night. So we launched a pilot expecting magic. And honestly, at first, it felt like magic. The system clustered alerts, identified patterns, and even predicted a storage threshold issue that could have become a P1. That early win created a lot of excitement in the team. But then came the low, the poor data quality, which means false positives, automation triggered unnecessary tickets. Engineers lost trust in started ignoring the platform. The pilot that began with celebrations ended with frustrations. That was the learning moment, I would say. And then AI ops doesn't fail because of AI. It fails because of us. Because our data is messy, processes are inconsistent, or teams are not aligned. So we paused, we cleaned the data, established governance, and brought engineers into discussions. When the system improved, the trust returned. My biggest takeaway AI ops is powerful, but only when people, process, and data are aligned together. It's not a tool, it's a cultural shift, what I would say.
Very rightly said, sir.
Yeah. That with that I conclude on the AI ops.
Yeah. So cloud made you fast, but also made the bill, which is very interesting. What is your one hard rule for cloud cost governance that keeps speed and savings? And a moment when you said no to a shiny tool because the unit economics failed.
Okay. Cloud. Cloud made everything faster. Deployments, scaling, I would say experimentation. But the first cloud bill also taught us a reality check when we first implemented the cloud. My hard rule is very simple. It is if a workload doesn't deliver measurable value within a defined window, it doesn't deserve cloud spend. Speed is important, but speed without value is waste, what I feel. There was a moment when a very attractive tool was proposed, sometimes with great demos and flashy features. The team was excited with this. But when we ran the numbers, the unit economics didn't justify us. The recurring cost overweighed the actual business impact. Saying saying no wasn't very easy. There was pressure on us, but big, but I would say like 6 months later, when a cheaper and more efficient alternate emerged, the team understood why that no was necessary at that point of time. Cloud governance is really about leadership discipline. The cloud to balance innovation with responsibility is very important.
Yeah, because without responsibility, you can just go anywhere and ultimately all come crashing down.
Very true. Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Okay, sir, now time for a very own rapid fire round. Few quick questions and all I ask you are quick answers. So are we ready?
Fire, rapid fire. Okay.
So morning person or night owl?
I would say night owl.
Okay. The first thing you do after waking up.
Honestly, I pray and then use my toilet.
Okay. One place in the world that instantly feels like home.
Um, in the month of August, I went to a place called Arunachalam, where Lord Shiva himself, they say Lord Shiva himself stayed there, and you have a power, and I felt that. So I feel Arunachalam as my home.
Lovely. If you could wake up tomorrow with any new skill, what would it be?
This is a good question. The ability to make everyone agree on anything.
Lovely. Your all-time comfort movie or show, the one you can watch on repeat.
I am not a movie person.
Okay.
I'm more into music, and you say I'm a die-hard fan of the late legendary singer S.P. Balasubramaniam. So I keep listening to his live shows and his live talks.
Lovely. A song that never fails to lift your mood.
Um, if you ask me to sing, if you ask me any song that comes into my mind is like a Telugu song, which is Nilavade song,
Okay.
which comes to my mind always.
Lovely. Your favorite way to spend a quiet Sunday.
Quiet Sunday, relax, be lazy, eat, watch TV with my wife and my son.
Lovely. The most memorable meal you've ever had and where.
I had in a restaurant called Chutneys, which is a pure veg. I'm a pure veg in Hyderabad, Jubilee Hills. It
Lovely.
was very lovely. It was memorable. Even today, me and my wife keep remembering that.
A small habit that keeps you centered or calm.
Small habit listening to spiritual talks
Okay.
and SPB songs.
Lovely. And finally, if your friends had to describe you in three words, what would they say?
Three words. Three words is like they call me as Junior SPB, and they say
Lovely.
excellent voice. And then few of them says like they like depth in my voice, in my
Lovely.
singing.
So after the camera cuts, we will go for one song. Ah.
All right.
Lovely, sir. Great. I think that was fantastic. Thank you so much for the rapid fire round. Now back to the slightly more serious questions.
All right.
So, leadership today isn't just about performance, it's also about purpose. So, let's talk about governance values and the bigger picture that shapes sustainable success. So, with nearly 15 years in IT and leadership, you've seen how governance isn't just a framework but rather a culture. Why do you believe good governance and ESG practices are becoming essential even in technology and infrastructure roles? Like, how do they help leaders like you make responsible long term decisions in a world which is so obsessed with speed?
Tanay, for me, governance became real the first time. It becomes real for the first time when I saw a small oversight, a missed approval, or undocumented change could re- um, could really create massive operational risk. That moment made me realize governance is not just a paperwork, it's a culture of responsibility. In technology, governance ensures reliability, trust, and long term thinking. See, ESG, especially today, is not optional. Even in infrastructure roles, decisions affects energy use, vendor ethics, data privacy, and community, which will impact. There were moments when governance showed us down, compliance check, audit security, and the reviews on all of this audits and securities. It felt really frustrating, but every time we avoided a breach, compliance issue, or a service risk, governance provided its value. What I have learned in this is governance protects speed from turning into chaos, and ESG protects growth from becoming short-sighted. It shapes leader to think not just about today,
Yeah,
but about 10 years from now. That's what
100%.
I've learned on the governance or the ESG or some, the purpose
Yeah,
of that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Very well said. So it's the long-term culture always that matters and should be looked at.
correct.
So, you've recently been associated with Directors Institute. We would love to know what drew you to it and how has that experience influenced the way you think about leadership, governance, and decision making today?
Tanay, what drew me in was a simple realization. Years after in operations, working in different domains, I wanted to understand how leaders think at the board level.
Yeah,
And I wanted to learn the framework that shaped strategies, ethics, and long term values. And then my experience with Directors Institute opened my thinking, listening to global leaders debate in real boardroom challenges, from governance failure to ESG dilemmas, which made me reflect deeply in my own decision making.
yeah,
There were moments when the decisions challenged my assumptions. Some principle felt difficult to apply in my day-to-day operations. Tanay, um, those were the moments that taught me the most, and my experience has changed the way I lead. This is the way I transformed myself in communicating with more clarity, and I consider long-term impact before short-term wins. And I look at the decision though the lens of risk, ethics, and sustainability, which Director Institute didn't just teach me governance, but it redefined how I see the leadership.
lovely,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you so much for this kind words, sir, and for an incredible conversation. You've taken us behind the screens and systems, but more importantly, behind the mindset that makes great technology actually work for people. Because it's not often that we hear an IT leader talk about, balance, trust, and human connection with such honesty. So, thank you for openly sharing your journey, your lessons, your values with us. It's been an absolute pleasure having you with us on FaceTime with Leaders, powered by Directors Institute World Council of Directors.
Thank you, Tanay, once again, having me here on this FaceTime.
Most welcome. So, our pleasure. To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're walking away with a few thoughts to reflect on, which is about staying adaptable, leading with empathy, and letting purpose guide progress. I'm Taneol, and this has been FaceTime with Leaders. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, lead with purpose, and of course, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.